bit about that later on with my guest. Now, he also co-founded the Fandi Ahmad Academy, the FAA, which later was known as the F17 Academy, and it's still going. It's still around. It's going strong, I believe, and we'll talk to our guest a little bit about that as well. But not many will know that he was also the founder of Singapore's premier football website called footballopod.com. I think some of you will remember that, and I remember that as well. While it was active, the website had the largest and most comprehensive database of Singapore football leagues, teams, players, etc., etc. Now, before diving into his passion, which is this beautiful game, the game of football, now he held a consultant position in a business management consultancy, and I tell you what, he's a hustler because off air I've been talking to him and he's been doing lots of things, right? And we'll talk to him about that. But I think it still goes back to football. Now, HUFC, Home United Football Club, obviously changed their name recently to Lion City Sailors FC, and LFA's alliance has remained with them, and we'll talk to our guest about that in detail now, called the Lion City Sailors Football Academy. My guest in episode 24 is the current general manager of the academy, Mr. Tan Li Yu. Lee, how are you?
Hi, I'm good.
Uh, do you mind me calling you Lee?
Sure, sure. Everyone calls me Lee. Actually.
Great, great, great. Now, the reason why you're here is, like I said before, it's all about hustling in this podcast, and it's about the hard work and stuff like that. And a lot of people know this name Lee, right, of LFA, and then obviously now of Lion City Sailors. But I want to put a face and, of course, a voice to this name Lee, right? A lot of people want to know this person, and I think I want to know about you as well. Now, considering what you are doing right now and the passion for the game and what have you, was football always part of you growing up?
Well, really, football for me actually started pretty late compared to, I think, a lot of my friends.
Okay.
It all started back in 1993
Okay.
when Singapore was in the Malaysia Cup days,
Right.
right? So 1993 was the year where we actually got to the finals and we lost 2-0 to Kedah.
Right.
That was my first ever game that I watched.
Okay.
And I actually cried
Okay.
when we lost.
Many cried actually.
And that was how my football journey started. So the next year with the dream team, 1994, we
yeah.
won the league, we won the cup. And then 1995 we got kicked out. Yeah, but that's how my journey with football actually started. Yeah.
So that was in 1993. How old were you then?
I was 12.
You were 12, and you did not like play the game in school or whatsoever.
Yeah, so I started actually playing football in secondary school.
Okay,
when I was Sec 1.
Yeah, you're right. You're pretty late in terms of
Yes.
So how was that, picking up the sport a little bit late and playing the game?
Yeah, so growing up, I actually was exposed to a lot of different sports and ball games.
Okay.
I started with swimming, and then I went on to tennis. I played badminton. I played table tennis. And then in secondary school, with the Malaysia Cup fever and everything, everyone was playing football. So every day after lesson, after class, after CCA, my CCA was a board game called Wei Qi Go.
Okay.
Right. So but football was the main staple after school every day.
Right, yeah. Right. I'm just going back to that CCA, right? Wei Qi, right?
Yes.
It's like it's a chess, like a chess, the Chinese chess game, right?
Yes. So Wei Qi is actually one of the most simplest game in terms of the rules.
Okay.
But it's the most complex in terms of the amount of permutations.
Right.
So the game actually became really famous just a couple of years ago because of this AI intelligence, where Google actually had a company that they created a company they created a software called AlphaGo that actually defeated the top pros in this game.
Okay.
So previously it was thought that because Wei Qi is actually the most complex in terms of number of permutations. So just by pure computational power, it was believed that it was 10 years away before a computer can actually beat a human. So now, with AI, machine learning, neural networks at its forefront, this is where Wei Qi is now, or actually the computer can actually beat humans now. So anyway, this game I started playing when I was primary four.
Okay.
Was one of the starting, founding batches of the students that started learning this game in Singapore
Okay.
with a professional teacher from China.
Right.
I became the national team captain when I was 12.
Nice.
And then sort of like got into my school a little bit through my Weiqi skills lah. Yeah.
Right. Nice. 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 Now, going back to football, right? The cliche of obviously of we don't get many Chinese players, Chinese boys taking up the sport. Now, like you said, you started at 12.
Yes.
Why did you start at 12? Why wasn't was the CCA not offered in primary school, or is the cliche right? Is it really right that Chinese parents do not like their children to play football or anything like that? Why?
I think we have come a long way, right?
Right.
So if you talk about the 90s, at that time, I think structured youth football wasn't that prevalent.
Okay.
You're right in the sense where it's really about CCAs. There was the Milo program.
Yes.
There were combined schools.
Right.
So like if you're in secondary school, you can get selected into the combined schools to represent Singapore and stuff.
Right.
But if you talk about youth academies and stuff, those things weren't prevalent.
Yeah.
And I guess at that time, it was also a situation where, given the opportunities, there is I think a lesser chance for I would say the Chinese community to be playing in a club environment and stuff.
Why?
Uh, I think I think at that time it's really about exposure, right? So
Okay.
if you are someone who really love football, no matter what your race is,
Yeah.
you would get there. You would go to a club, you go to the Milo
Yes.
program and stuff, right?
Yes.
But I think Singaporeans are generally very kiasu, right? So
Okay.
so parents would want to choose something for the kids to try to do and focus on and excel in from young.
Yeah.
And given those opportunities at the time in a structured environment wasn't that prevalent,
Okay.
I think there was a lack of opportunities there. But
Okay.
I think now it's a little different.
Okay.
So now it's like everyone is playing football, and there's so many options and so many opportunities for you to
Yes.
be playing football.
Yeah.
You have Active SG
Yeah.
with a great reach,
Yeah.
a lot of good stuff in terms of reaching out to all the masses. You have GSSL,
Right.
you have Turf City, you have Anza, you have us, F17, lots of academies, lots of chances for people from every single kind of background to play football in a structured environment. And the honest truth is, if you look around, I don't think you talk about race anymore in football.
Yes,
At the
yes.
youth level.
Yeah.
It's really everyone has an opportunity to play.
Right.
I think the difficult part comes when they actually turn 13. They go on to secondary school.
Yeah.
And school football becomes a priority where I through my expertise in football, I get to a premier school, VS,
Right.
Tanjong Katong,
Right.
SJI,
Right.
ACS, and to a lot of parents, that is like an endpoint, right? Where, okay, great, you did well for football, you spent 6-7 years in your primary school life playing football. Yes, with football, you have gotten to a good secondary school. Now, let's get back to reality. Let's start focusing, think about what you can go on, try as hard as possible. But if you go to any parent now and tell them, hey, make a career in football, I think it is still tough to convince parents. So that's the challenge.
Let me stop you right there, because we're going to talk further on about this later on when we come to LCS and what they have in store.
Yeah.
Because I think we're going to talk about this again as well. About
Yeah.
stopping at 13 and what is after that.
Yeah.
Because that's the problem always in Singapore especially.
Yeah.
Great stuff there. Now let's talk about education a bit, right? You're a genius, my friend. 4 distinctions for A level. Sorry, you were awarded the Commendation Award for outstanding academic performances at Hwa Chong Junior College, obviously with the A levels results, and you were on the dean's list at NUS in 2002, 2003,
Yeah.
2004, and 2005. Please explain yourself, Lee.
This is an interesting question, right? So many people believe that to actually do well academically in Singapore especially, you need to be like studying 24 hours. You have no life. You're a nerd, you're a mugger, and you just need to dedicate your life to the paper
Right.
wall, lah, right? Honestly, that's not the case. I
Okay.
think for a lot of people, it's about how you spend your time.
Okay.
And I think everything stemmed from the fact that from very young, I'm a very playful person. I love to play. And when I say I love to play sports. So I like I told you, I played football. So football and volleyball, I played competitively in JC.
Okay.
I played table tennis, badminton, inter-class, inter-hall, or inter-faculty. I also played Weiqi and contract bridge for
Okay.
school and for Singapore, right?
Okay.
So I love playing. I
Right.
love to play. But I know that if I want to do so many things, I need to be able to manage my time well. So it's all about maximum efficiency of time management, where if you are doing something, you fully focus on doing it, uh, and then you actually get the maximum returns from it. So for example, when I revise, when I study, right, my friends tend to go to McDonald's, Starbucks.
Right.
They sit there, they chill.
Right.
4 hours, they study for 4 hours, they say. But in those 4 hours, most of the time they are chit-chatting, daydreaming, and they feel like they studied a lot. But
having their fries.
yeah. So for myself, I don't go more than 30 minutes per block, right? So in that 30 minutes, I'm like in a bubble, in a zone, right? So I just focus.
Right.
And then after that is done for the day, I go and play.
Right.
Play. I want to play. I want to have as much time to play as possible.
Right.
So yeah, I think the key difference here is the ability to really focus and do something, one thing at one point of time.
Lee, that was absolutely brilliant, because this is what this podcast is all about, right? And this goes out, if you are a child, a kid, a student listening to this podcast, and obviously a lot of kids from the LCS hopefully will be listening to this. This is what's all about, right? You can play all you want, because at the end of the day, you need to know what your priorities are. I think that is what you just did, and what you just explained, right? The priorities, the time management, because get that over and done with, and then you can do whatever you're supposed to do. But then you got to do it right as well.
Yes.
And I think that was absolutely brilliant. That and please, there should be a little bit of not a little bit, a lot of talent as well. And I think you have that, right? But this part about time management and what have you, right? Was it self-discipline, or did your parents have to drill this into you? Because for some of us, it's pretty much self-discipline. You know, I know what I want to do. I'll just do it. Or were you just like being drilled by your parents? Okay, you gotta. What was it?
So I grew up in an environment where I was really pampered, actually.
Were you the only son?
No, I have a younger brother.
Okay.
My mom is someone who just gives us whatever we want. She does not believe in pressuring us.
Okay.
Most of the time, it's like her trying to tell us, or tell me at least, hey, time to relax, man, go and play. 10:30. I was fat from young. 10:30 at night, hey, McDonald's, come supper.
Right.
So no discipline.
Right.
No pressure, nothing. And I think that it actually created a situation for me where unless I have some form of self-discipline, then basically I'll just be someone who's just going to rely on my parents all my life, lah, right? And I think I'm also very thankful for the fact that they actually provided me with a platform to say, hey, go out, do whatever you want,
Right.
do whatever you love.
Right.
But I think doing the best when you are doing something is something that was also inculcated in me.
Right.
Like, if you want to do something, you give your best in it. Don't worry about you getting last or you getting first. Doesn't matter. You put full effort, you enjoy yourself fully, then you will have lived your life fully. Yeah. So that was the kind of environment that I was actually brought up in. Yeah.
Nice. You just said that you were fat. How fat were you? I just suddenly came to me. How fat were you?
I was I was obese from primary one.
Till?
Actually till NS. So all the way through my school life, I was obese and really 140% overweight.
100 and what,
So
40%?
140%. Yeah. So
Ah,
100%
okay.
is perfect.
Okay,
100,
okay.
130 and above is obese, right? So
Right,
so
right,
if you
right.
look at your health booklet,
Yes.
every time I'm in the tough club,
Okay.
trim and
I
fit club. I don't
remember that.
remember
I
that tough
remember
club.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you have to attend the nutrition workshops and stuff. Yeah.
I know, but I just think, personal opinion, the tough club was a little bit cruel. They don't let you eat during recess, didn't they?
Uh,
Gosh.
it doesn't help when I go home. I can eat whatever I want.
Exactly, exactly. Yeah, yeah. It's actually what you do, not in school, but
Yes,
in
yes, yes.
general.
How you take care of yourself? Yeah.
Exactly. Just a little bit, because you spoke about NS, right? Before, all the way till NS, you are going to be the CO of your reservist unit, right?
Yeah. So currently, I'm actually an S3,
Right.
in a reservist unit,
Okay.
and I've actually completed my 10 years
Okay.
cycle,
Yes.
and I actually carry on. So it's
Right.
called Rover,
Okay.
rollover, right?
Okay.
And I completed my Command and Staff College course last
Right.
year,
Right.
and at the moment is the timeline is likely I will actually take over as
Okay.
the CEO of my unit next year.
And your rank now?
I'm a major, but
Right.
I mean, in all honesty, I think reservist, national service is nothing about the rank.
Yeah. Yeah. Of
It's
course.
really about why I actually embrace
Yeah.
national service is because I truly believe in it.
Okay.
I truly believe
Okay.
that us as a little red dot
Yeah.
require this kind of dedication to know that unless we fight for ourselves, unless we are able to defend ourselves, we would never be able to survive. So I've always been actually a very, very strong proponent. I really encourage national service, and I always believe that national service can make a difference to people's life. Yeah.
There you go, another brilliant quote for this podcast, right? And again, kids listening, you can be obese right now, you still can make it. You still, and if you're looking, and if you know Lee very well, he's very trim, right? So absolutely brilliant again. Now, let's talk a little bit about uh, you know, so all this, your qualifications and all, and you have a degree in engineering and stuff like that. So what then did you think now? Okay, let's make use of this degree, whatever you've learned and what have you with the paper qualifications. What next at that point? Did you think like, okay,
Yeah.
I'm just going into the field that
Mm.
this path
Yeah. Yeah.
that
Yeah.
has already been nicely laid for me through my hard work,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
whatever I've done.
Yeah.
What was in your head at that
Yeah.
time?
So that was near graduation
Yes.
from NUS. That was back in year 2006.
Yeah.
In my final year project, I was actually working on this humanoid robot.
Yeah.
And I participated in the FIRA World Cup.
Right.
And was the champion of the humanoid category in
Okay.
the FIRA World Cup, right?
So you're a
And
World Cup winner.
yeah, but yeah, I mean, again, I think it's a little different in a sense where I was someone who was making a robot to play football, but then the rest were researchers, right? The competition field were people who were concerned about how the robot walked,
Okay.
while I was concerned about scoring goals. So I think it's unfair,
Wow.
right? My end goal was not to make the perfect gait
Right.
to mimic a human.
Right.
I just wanted to score goals, right? So my robot, I think, was ugly. He had ugly gates, lousy gates, but I can score lah, right?
Okay.
Yeah. So I think that was unfair.
Okay.
But well, it was a situation where the school was actually very keen for me to continue on this path, to go down the research path,
Yeah.
to do a PhD, continue working on humanoid robots,
Yeah.
and stuff. But uh, it was pretty clear to me that while while if I stayed in the academic field, I would do well.
Yeah.
I was also sure that if I did that, I was just running away from reality, lah, staying in my comfort zone, right? Right,
Okay.
staying in the academic world is a very sheltered environment,
Which is safe,
and
which is
yes,
stable,
yes,
and
yes, yes,
whatever you.
and I can do whatever I want, right?
Exactly.
Like and have a lot of time to do whatever I want.
Yeah.
But uh the realization of the fact that I'm going into a period of my life where I need to feed myself, I need to have a career. Uh, I think I need to do something different. I need to get out of my comfort zone at a point of time. So, and like I mean, fortunately for myself, my grades made it such that I didn't really need to actually look for jobs. Right, more or less, we are in a position where we get offered interviews and stuff. There was never any need for us to send out CVs and stuff. So uh, ultimately, I landed a job in consulting.
Right.
It's not a big management consulting firm, but it was a very big IT
Okay.
consulting firm, right? So it's Accenture,
Right.
And it's actually doing very well now, right?
Okay.
And my first year was where I actually delivered. I was part of a team that delivered integrated broadcast system for MediaCorp. After 1.5 years in the IT systems side of consulting, I actually moved to management consulting,
Right.
where I was part of a strategy practice.
Okay.
That was where I was involved with projects mainly in the telco space.
Okay.
So all the major telcos in Singapore were my clients.
Okay.
We did different types of strategy projects for them. Uh, During my about 3 years with the firm, I loved it. I enjoyed it a lot, and I think that was a time where, as a consultant, you learn things in a very short span of time.
Okay.
You need to go into a field. You need to go into an industry sometimes where you have barely any knowledge. You have maybe 2 weeks to prep yourself. You got to read up. You got to prove to those people that you're gonna consult with or give consultancy to, that you know as much stuff as them,
Okay.
if not more than them.
Yeah.
So you learn a lot in a short space of time, and you lead a life where it's very exciting,
Okay.
but it's also a life that's very draining. And
Right.
and you start to realize, and you get to a state where it's like a journey where, if you have a passion for consulting, you would be able to sustain it.
Okay.
But if you do not actually have a passion, if you enjoy doing it but you don't actually have a big passion for it, it's not something that's sustainable.
Okay.
And I ended up having these issues where I barely have any time.
Okay.
You make money, but your money, you see your bank account go up, you got no life to spend it.
Okay.
You're
Okay.
stressed out, you're
Okay.
angry,
Okay.
you go home, you scold people,
Okay.
and then I reached a state where I told myself, maybe I don't want to spend my life
Scolding people.
and working to make money lah, right?
Okay.
I told myself, hey, rather than leading a life like that, and then people work hard and then they say, hey, retire at 40, retire at 45.
Yeah.
But at 40 and 45, can I still play football, volleyball, tennis, table tennis, bridge, weights? I can't, right?
Right.
So what can I do such that I actually live my life
Right.
doing the things that I love, while maybe making a living for myself? So I told myself, hey, let's do something different.
Right.
Let's start something, or work on things that I love.
Right.
And football is something that I really love.
Right.
I have a lot of passions, but the main one is still football.
Okay.
And coming out of or trying to start something in football, and then trying to get into an industry that I was never part of before, although I just played the game. I tried to bring in whatever I thought I knew, right? So I did IT with Accenture.
Right.
I did some kind of business management
Right.
consulting, right? So
Right.
I had business skills,
Right.
IT skills. So I thought, hey, let's start a company that runs a football website lah. So I bring football, I bring IT, I bring business into things, right? And that's where Football Report came about.
Nice.
In 2009. Successful, but it's hard to feed yourself with a website dedicated to Singapore football. So
Okay.
I went 1.5 years without any pay.
1.5 years
running the football website. That was the formative years of my entrepreneurial life.
You probably just survived on whatever you got from Accenture.
Yes,
Basically,
exactly.
the money went up from there. The stress level went up as well.
Yeah.
But then you decided to do something that you like. But
Yeah.
then the money levels went down.
Yes,
right?
yes.
But
Exactly.
but it was definitely a bold move.
Yes.
I mean, but it was also a smart move to actually just combine all your talents, your expertise rather,
Yeah.
and then put it to good use in that the website.
Yeah.
Now, just tell me a little bit about the website, because I thought it did pretty well. When
Yes.
when I was coaching and stuff like that, I knew about, and I knew some of the writers, and content wise, obviously,
Yes.
you guys covered local football, schools football as well. I
Yes,
remember
yes.
that very
NFL,
clearly. Yes.
Amateur leagues.
And it was very good for the school scene as well, because we see reporters coming to the SR Nathan Cup and
Yes,
as reporting on, and
Yes.
as a student, as a sports person in schools, you feel great, your reporters coming down. Talk to us a little bit about that.
So I think for Football Report, a big part was about trying to bring Singapore football together.
Okay.
That was a period of time where you had a lot of amateur leagues happening.
Yes.
You had a lot of hype about school competitions. You had the FAS running the NFL scene. You had the S League going on, but there was no one place to find information on all this. You had Red Sports that covered school sports.
Yeah.
Maybe a bit of coverage in the mainstream media for SPL for S League.
Was it the Vox? There's some Vox Sports as well, right?
Yes, they started after me.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
about a year after
Right,
me, right? Yeah, but Vox came in as well.
Okay.
And I just wanted to bring uh everyone together. So I started Football Report, started covering all the different levels of football.
Yes.
And I also created this football playground within the website where everyone can have a player profile. Teams can come in and create their team profiles.
Nice.
Referees can have their referee profile. So you can go and look for pitch, look for referee, everything on the website, right?
Okay.
Now, this website, you can call it successful because I think a lot of people who were in Singapore football were visiting the website and stuff. But because of the market being so small,
Yes.
so concentrated,
Yes.
Singapore football people only.
Yeah.
It then meant that the number of eyeballs on the website, we had about 20,000 unique visitors a month.
Yeah.
And we had Nike, Adidas advertising with the website.
Nice.
But even then, the revenue that you generate just cannot sustain proper income other than for the writers.
Right.
So eventually, it was pretty clear that this website, it can be run, but it can never become something that can actually feed me.
Right.
And I was lucky in a sense where we had reached a point of time where I may have to go back to corporate life, right?
Yeah.
And I was 1.5 years down the road, having had no pay.
Yeah.
And then Fundy came along.
Ah.
It was a miracle in a sense for me because through one of the league organizers that
Yeah.
were subscribing to Football Report,
Yeah.
Fundy actually contacted me, and then we're looking at having Football Report provide website marketing services for an academy that he was thinking of starting. That was back in 2010.
Right.
He was in Indonesia,
Okay.
looking to come back to Singapore.
Nice.
And then when I met him, I think that was where it was pretty clear that I did not just want to be a service provider, right? And so together with this other partner who was one of the league people running a league, we proposed to Fundy to actually run this together as
Yeah.
business partners,
Yes.
right? And it all started off, my relationship with Fundy started off very transactionally, right? Basically, it's a deal, a business deal.
Yeah.
And you know that Fundy is someone that has he gives his trust to people a lot, right? And had gone through a lot of difficulty in terms of managing businesses. And at that point of time, I was this Chinese guy coming along with this business proposal to him. Well, even from the optics of it, if you look at the third party, it looks like I'm going to con him, man. It looks like I'm going to just eat him up alive, man.
I didn't say that. You said it.
Yeah.
Right? You said it
Yeah.
first, right?
Yeah, we even had Sasi Kumar,
Yes.
who is also his children are training with me now.
Yeah.
He actually came along and helped review the contract for Fundy
Right,
with us, right?
right.
And he said, okay, never mind, go ahead and stuff. But I think within 3 months of starting the Fundy Ahmad Academy, that was back in 2011. So 2010, we conceptualized, we worked everything out, and then we rolled out March 2011.
Yeah.
We launched at Safra Tampines.
Yeah.
It was a big thing.
Yeah.
It started with 100 students, right? And within 3 months of running the academy, I think Fundy realized that, damn man, this guy, he's not cheating me, man. He really wants to do something for football.
One of few who never cheated him, right?
No. Let's not say that. I think
Only a few.
No. I think the thing for my relationship with Fundy is really one of trust, where
of course.
he really sees I'm genuine
Yeah.
in what I wanted to do, and I really respected him
Yeah.
from young.
Yeah.
1994.
Right.
He got me into football, man.
Yeah.
His goals in the Malaysia Cup were everything that I knew when I started football.
Yeah.
And to work with someone that is your childhood hero was something that I felt could never have been better. And nothing that I have today would have been possible without him.
Wow.
regardless of the fact that so the first year with the academy he was full on, man. He was there every training session. He was training the boys. There was a short episode with Sembawang Soccer Academy that the Italy boys and stuff. Not such a good experience for him, but
How was that? Okay, never mind.
yeah,
Continue the story. I'm going to ask you that.
yeah, yeah,
This is juicy stuff.
no. But uh, that came after
Yeah,
we
yeah,
started the
yeah.
academy. But that first year he was full on. He was there. Then came the Sembawang thing.
Yeah.
And then pretty quickly he went on and was offered I mean after the Sembawang episode he was offered JDT.
Yeah.
So he was coach of JDT for a while.
Right.
And then subsequently Lions 12 and
Yeah.
stuff. He continued his coaching career within this region. But he was always around. Always.
Fandi, if you're listening, I think that's a great shout out to you as well. And the fact that Lee has said that he wouldn't be here if it wasn't for you, absolutely brilliant. I hope you're listening in. I will send you this link to the podcast as well. Make sure you listen to this. And yeah, so it was pretty successful because I remember that, right? The FAA. And just tell me a little bit. Now, when I say a little bit, just a little bit, right? Just about that Sembawang issue, because it was a big, big thing then. Players went to Italy and then got stuck there, and it's not really a good thing. Just a little bit to summarize.
So, honestly, I wasn't really privy to a lot of the information there because we had just started about 6 months. And then along came someone who conceptualized this. He wanted to really invest in Singapore football, bring it to the next heights. The numbers that were being bandied was crazy, right? 60 million.
Someone from overseas, or
I have no idea. I mean, I was never part of the setup. Funny spoke to me and he said, "Hey, there's this guy who wants to invest. He's gonna hire Haji." Tuhari Pajang was started together with us, right? So both of them went on to work with this setup for a while. And then it fell apart pretty quickly, right? And I think at the end of the day, it was just again one of those things in football where empty promises. Someone comes along and says he promises this, promises that, and just never delivered, right? And I think it fizzled out pretty quickly.
That's a good summary, I would say. And of course it left quite a bad taste in Singapore football at that time. Now, and just a little bit, right? You went into FFFAA, and I thought the timing was great, like you said, right? It wasn't good, at Football Oport in terms of making money and stuff, 1.5 years. And I think the timing was absolutely brilliant, right? With Fandi coming over. So that was great. And then you guys went on to form F17 in terms of the merger.
So maybe a little bit about that. I think again, this was where it wasn't, I think, the best time of our lives.
FAA?
No, F17. So let's talk about how it happened.
Yes.
So we had Fandi Ahmad Academy, 2011 to 2013, and then in 2013 there were two let's call them investors who started up something called Academy of Football Excellence. It started off with them signing Ilhan, right? Ilhan Fandi. But it pretty quickly expanded to also a lot of our top tier players joining them. And a lot of it was, of course, because Ilhan was there, right? And it was quite natural that they were going there. So when I was made aware of this, I think my first thought was, can we speak to them and hear from them? What's this about, right? And I would say it's of the scale of Sembawang Soccer Academy, but the vision at that point of time for them was, hey, let's make the next ASEAN football star. I think that was our theme, right? So ultimately, we agreed to a merger between Fandi Ahmad Academy and this new setup called AFE. And we rebranded as F17 Academy. Unfortunately, I think from a principal's perspective, there were a lot of differences. So myself and Fandi, we strongly believed in what can we do for the players? What can we do for these people who are joining us? But I think at the end of the day, we were not ready to run our business, run our academy as a pure commercial entity and just squeezing everyone dry, making as much money as possible. That was not what we were set up to do. And unfortunately, that was just one of the things that we couldn't agree on with
Yeah.
those partners of ours, and a lot of other stuff that
Yes.
I won't be able to share
Great,
here.
great, great.
And that was also the time when Fandi was the coach of Alliance 12,
Okay.
right? Eventually, January 2015, I resigned as the director
Yeah.
of the company.
Yeah.
I wanted to walk away, right? And of course, it was also a period of time where clearly Fandi is in youth football together with me, right? And we went through a whole year of let's say tussling, right, with the entity as to whether they're still allowed to use Fundi's name and
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah.
Everything was settled in the end. Fundi officially stopped his association with F17
Okay.
in 2016,
Yeah.
and then officially came on board as the brand ambassador of LFA.
Right.
Right. So LFA started in 2015.
Yeah.
We actually started off as Fandi Ahmad Football Academy, sorry, Fandi Ahmad Football Club.
Yeah.
And then due to the issues, we were advised to just rebrand.
Okay.
LFA, just let's put it out there. L is L's apostrophe S, L's Football Academy, where you can reference L as legend for
Right.
Fandi
Right.
or Li. Right. So
Right.
so it was a little bit of a clever kind of wordplay.
Right. Right.
And a lot of the kids actually followed us. 200 of them.
From F17.
Yes, yes.
Right.
I mean, it was a point of time where I guess they could see what we wanted to do. Yeah.
Yes or no? The management of F17, which was then, are they still running the place right now? The same people?
No. When after we left F17,
Yeah.
and then we started FASC and very quickly rebranded to the LFA.
Yeah.
I think within a couple of within I think the first 6 months to a year,
Yeah.
one of the partner actually left.
Okay.
So they were left with the two of them.
Right.
I think one left,
Yeah.
left with one, and then I think 1 year on, 2017 or 2018,
Yeah.
they actually sold off the business.
All
Right.
right.
So it's new owners now. I know them as well.
Right.
Their children actually joined LFA for a while.
Okay.
Yeah. But I mean, end of the day, I feel that anyone that is doing football in Singapore,
Yeah.
it's doing a good thing. Anyone. So be it F17, be it JSSL, be it Active SG, FAS, everyone is trying to do something for Singapore football.
Wonderful. We will talk about that further because it's a beautiful seg into our next topic. And you said it there. I think at the end of the day, this is not a podcast to slam and bash the other academies out there, because it's not about that. It is about you, Lee, and what you've been doing, and you've been doing an absolutely brilliant job. And why you came out of F17 is also another lesson, okay? Because we're going to talk about that again. Now, LFA, again, like you said, was launched in 2015, right? Now, what was the goal of LFA, a mission statement or what have you, all right? I think that's very important. Like you said, you got out of F17 because of certain issues which you didn't like, which, just looking from the outside as a lay person, I'm a coach as well, it wasn't right. It wasn't right. So what is the goal of LFA when you started out?
Yeah. So I think it was always centered around bringing football together, and trying to create a platform for structured youth football development.
Yeah.
Honestly speaking, when having gone through FAA and then F17, it was obvious what we really wanted to do. We wanted to do something for Singapore football.
Nice.
We didn't want to. We're not here to make money out of it. Yes, I get a salary, and Fandi gets some returns from his investments, of his time and stuff. But most importantly, we wanted to have something that can provide and make a difference to Singapore football. And the batch of players that had we started with, they were young at that time, 5, 6, 7, 8
Yeah.
years old. That was the main
Yes.
bulk of players that we had. And as we progressed along the years, it became pretty clear that we were actually doing quite well locally.
Okay.
Like we participate in competitions
Yeah.
and stuff. We generally do well. I think the parents loved the fact that there is a structure. There's a playing philosophy behind how we play.
Yep.
There is a proper development platform.
Right.
And I was very happy doing what I felt was my little cave, right?
Right.
I didn't. I was not associated with FAS. I was not associated with Sports SG.
Yeah.
We just do our little thing, playing our JSSL league, and then our boys happily DSA when they reach the
Yeah.
12 years old. Whoa!
Yeah.
Yes, how many of my kids got to sports school, get to VS, get to
Right.
Raja Katong and stuff.
Right.
And soon the realization came that wow, we were doing really well, man, with our kids going to Gothia Cup, doing well there. We are, I cannot say that we are comparable with the rest of the world, but
Yeah.
we are really not that far off, up to the 11, 12 years old level. But
Right.
then it's pretty obvious that 13 onwards, wow, the gap with the rest of the world is, my God, is really incredible. Like, I cannot imagine our 13-year-old team, right, going there to play them. And a lot of times, I come back to think it's because come 12 to 13, you then focus change, right? School, 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 school. You have 9 subjects in school. You have a lot of dedication towards your CCA, and of course, priorities in life change, right? But I think the key question was, can we now then think about setting up a platform to sustain the kind of structured development that we were providing previously? Uh, and again, there is no right or wrong answer. Should should Singapore football be purely driven by school football? Should FAS be leading this drive? I think everyone is trying to do something for Singapore football, and everyone is trying their best. But if we can harness everything together and then everyone pull in the same direction, I think that will make a difference. So at that point of time, I then started to come out of my little cave and started to look at, can I try to get something together so that my players, my kids, have something structured to carry on, right?
Right.
13, 14, 15, 16,
Right.
17. And that was when the alliance with Home United came into fruition.
Right.
They were happy with what I was doing.
Did you go up to Home United, or did they approach you, or how did that
It
happen?
was it started off um conversation between myself and the then CEO Azru,
Right.
about youth football,
Okay.
and I think we all saw the good that we were doing,
Right.
and uh, I think Home United were pretty clear that they could see what LFA was doing,
Yeah.
and they were happy with how we were developing the kids.
Yeah.
They had the COE program. Every athlete club needs to have their COE program.
Right.
And so I think the natural idea was, hey, let's go into some form of an alliance where LFA then starts to feed into
Right.
the Home United COE
Right. Nice.
system. So that was the first step that I took in terms of trying to provide a platform
Right.
for my players to move upwards, potentially towards professional football.
It's just like
Yes.
a feeder team, feeder squad, so to speak.
Yes.
You know, from your academy team, they're slowly moving up the ranks and then going up to play for the senior side in the prime league before
Correct.
that, of course. And that's personally, again, I've been in football for quite a long time as well, and I think every club in Singapore and wherever, and you see things like this happening in Europe, and it should be done. It is a must, right? Every single club in Singapore should have, if not their own proper structure, then have an alliance like this. For example, it can happen whichever way or however way you want to put it. But if you want to really do it, you got to do it,
Yeah.
because there's no other way.
Yeah.
And what you guys are doing are absolutely brilliant. Now, just with you, there's no very quickly, because you're gonna talk, and brilliant. That's great. What are the challenges in actually starting an academy from scratch? Like what have you got to think about, Lee? Because there's many things. There's your admin. There's admin. There's facilities. There's venue. There's equipment. There's coaches. There's every damn thing under the sun, right? How difficult is it?
Um, I think if you ask me, starting a football academy in Singapore, the barrier to entry is pretty low, in the sense where you actually see that there are many academies out there, many, right, from the big ones to the really small
No,
ones.
the barriers are low, but the difficulties are there.
Yes,
right?
yes. So I think if you talk about starting something small, having a group of boys come together at the field downstairs, and then you
Yeah.
have an uncle starting as a coach. He gets the boys together, they start playing together regularly. He starts a little bit of coaching with them, and then after a while, they start participating in competitions, and then you start to think about, hey, I can start an academy, start to charge kids a little bit, make a bit of money from that. But I think the truth of the matter is, if you want to start something and actually sustain it, there must be a minimum critical mass to hit. So I think one of the key success factors for us when we first started out was having Fundy as the brand
Right.
helped us kick off. So we started the first weekend with 121 students.
Okay.
At that point of time, back in 2011,
Yeah.
it is big. No, at that time you didn't have Active SG.
Right. Right. Of
There
course.
weren't so many academies. At that point of time, JSSL, ISA, they were the big players in the market,
Yes.
but mainly for the expats. So
Yeah.
Singaporean wise, weren't that many.
Right.
And with then 100 over students, you suddenly you are on a number that it can actually self-sustain. If your program is not too lousy, right?
Yeah.
So people believe just through no marketing, word of mouth, parents recommending
Yeah.
students in, suddenly you have something that can actually grow. So I think the if you want to start something, you need to be able to start with a critical mass. That's number one.
Start big.
Yeah.
In terms of
Yeah. If you ask me, minimum is 100
Right.
students, right? And then you need to have a venue in Singapore. You That's the next key challenge. Are you able to find a place for you to run your training, right? And we were lucky that Safra Tampines came along and offered us to become the anchor tenants over there at that point of time.
Yeah.
So we actually started off with Safra Tampines, and till today, we still run our programs out of Safra Tampines.
Yeah.
And the truth is, if you look at Singapore, the availability of fields, yes, there are private fields. Yes, there's Singapore Sports. There's a Sports SG fields that you can book. But to run an academy, you need a fixed place,
Right.
and to anchor yourself at somewhere, it's not easy to find one.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Right. That's great. Now you spoke about uh all these players in the market, the ISAs and what have you, JSSL, and there's many right now. There's Barcelona, even the FFA has started one recently, the French Football Association. Have you heard about that?
No.
Yes, they've
Okay.
really they've actually come up with
Yeah.
an academy here in Singapore. That's
Okay.
for another podcast, right?
Yeah.
Now, competition. There's many out there,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
What do you think about competition in terms of academies?
Yeah. So you're talking about tournaments or
No,
relationship
as
between
in
academies?
relationship between academies, nothing to do with,
Yeah.
with
So
yeah,
I think in this tight space
Right.
of Singapore football, right?
right,
You're talking about if you include expats, I think maybe 15,000, 16,000 players in the football market.
right,
The truth is, I am a strong proponent of the win-win philosophy.
Nice.
I believe that academies can work closely with one another.
Yeah.
Many may actually struggle to believe that I actually hold a very good relationship with JSSL. Right, Harvey is a great friend of mine.
right,
I strongly support the tournaments that he runs,
Yeah.
the way that he runs his academy.
Yeah.
And I also am a strong proponent of Active SG.
right,
They actually are doing really well because they are able to reach out
to the
to
masses.
as many kids as possible. They can bring in the numbers. You want to have as many kids playing as possible, but if everybody is just concentrating on making money, then that's not going to happen. Now with Active SG, you from potentially 1,000 students, you're talking about maybe 10,000 students next time. These people could have been in basketball, could have been in swimming or whatever, right? But because there's these different players in the market, they serve different purposes. So I think in terms of competition, it's a healthy one.
Yeah,
And it's something where everyone needs to know what part they play.
yeah,
Are you in here to reach out? Or are you in here to provide some kind of structured competitive platform? Or are you trying to make professional players? So different academies would have.
or in some academies just trying to make money out of you, right?
Yeah. I mean, unfortunately, the truth is you're running a business.
Yeah, yeah, of
Same
course.
as when I was running LFA. While we could afford to charge a little bit less
Yeah.
simply because we choose to earn less, but at the end of the day, people need to survive. And when you let commercial elements drive things can grow as well.
Yeah.
So there's pros and cons to this, and I believe that if you have a differentiating factor,
Yeah.
if you position yourself well, there is a space for everyone, and
Right.
there is position. There's a possibility for you to serve different needs
Right.
of the market. Yeah.
I gotta say, not many people think like you, right? In terms of competition, because that I've heard of people on Twitter, on Facebook, when Active Energy started, saying academy
Yeah.
people from the academy,
Yeah.
owners of academy, saying
Yeah.
they shouldn't be there taking
Yeah.
our place and taking our money,
Yeah.
you know. But I feel, you're just right, because it depends on what your objectives are,
Yes.
right? If
Yes.
your objectives is just pure making money,
Yeah.
people will see through you after a few weeks, after a
Yeah.
few months. They will
Yeah.
see through you,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Because of the
Yeah.
people that you employ and the coaching and what have you.
Yeah.
And I think that's very, very important, and that's very good, because I think at the end of the day, competition will make you stronger.
Yes.
You know, it
Yes.
it definitely will
Yeah.
make you stronger.
Yeah.
And I think that's one of the key takeaway from that as well.
Yeah.
Now, someone said this just a few days ago. Lee is very passionate about local football and has done loads for the academy scene in Singapore. It is only good to have people like Lee in the scene. Guess who said that?
I have no idea.
Let me tell you, he's Gavin Lee, Tampines Rovers FC coach. He said that just a few days ago. I asked him
Mm,
about you, and
mm,
that's
mm,
what he
mm,
said. And
mm, mm.
also, he's obviously from Tampines and JSSL, right?
Yep.
A competitor,
Yep.
and
Yep.
he has high regards for you, as a
Yes.
competitor. And I spoke, and he was on my podcast,
Yeah.
just one of the episodes, and a great guy. And I think that should be the way,
Yes.
in terms of competition, healthy competition.
Yes.
And if you know what you want, you just go out there
Yeah.
and so Gavin Lee, a shout out to you. And he also did say to cut you short sometimes because you do go on. Right.
Yes.
Now, I think you spoke about like I said, starting out an academy, from scratch and what have you. Now, it's all fun and games, talking about, find a venue, find this and that. Coaches, I I think they are one of the most important people in an academy, in coaching, in what have you, and just whatever it is.
Yeah.
Quality coaches.
Yeah.
Now, how did you recruit your coaches? Firstly, from LFA, did they come over from FAA, or how did that go about? How did
Yeah.
you recruit your coaches?
Yeah. So I think when we first started out, it was really Fandi and Haji that
Yeah.
was driving the coaching, and then the younger coaches came along. The younger coaches came
Yeah.
along, and Fandi imparted the knowledge of coaching to them as well. Um, of course, when we actually set up LFA, our core coaches all came
Nice.
over, right, and
Nice.
and followed me.
Some of them
Um,
still here, or
yeah,
who
yeah,
are they?
yeah.
Just name a few.
Galen,
Right.
Ashraf,
Right.
Douglas,
Right.
John.
Great.
So these are coaches who have been with me
Okay.
since F17 days.
Yeah.
And then of course subsequently we had Jasni,
Yeah.
Zahid,
Right.
Boy Fatih,
Right.
Zaidi. These people came along, and I think it is a situation where in Singapore our coaches are they're actually very lucky, because if you compare a coaching job, youth coaching, in Europe and in Singapore, it's very different. When we go to the Gothia Cup and we speak to the coaches from the other teams,
Yeah.
they are very surprised that coaches get paid, youth coaches get
Right.
paid, because for example in Sweden, 99% of youth coaches are on voluntary basis.
Yes.
And to get to get a paid coaching job in Europe, it's not easy.
Right.
Now in Singapore, uh, almost all the coaches are paid.
Yeah.
I think it's in an environment where uh, you need to be good with the children. You need to be good with the youth.
Yeah.
You can have the highest qualification, a pro license, but if you cannot get your point across to a 6, 7, 8, 9 years old, you are never a good coach.
Yeah.
So I had A license coaches who came and trial with us,
Yeah.
and I say thank you very much after one session. I have C license coaches who come and just dazzle, because it's about how you connect with the kids.
Right.
So in terms of recruitment, the very first quality that we look out for is how do our coaches connect with the kids. The next part is in terms of the knowledge, and this is where I think our technical director Luca is making a very big difference, because recently we just had a 1 week coaching
Yeah, I
course,
heard. Yeah, I saw that.
and it was a very intense one. We started every morning 9 a.m., finished 7 p.m., 1 full week.
Yeah.
And we are rolling out all this coaches education and training uh, slowly.
Yeah.
And hopefully by January, everyone is ready to roll with the
Nice.
full program, full on. Yeah.
Nice. It's great. No, this is absolutely brilliant, because I think this needs to be done. Coaches education, and proper one as well. Not
Yeah.
not just get your C, B, and A, and then off you go. You can do
Yeah.
whatever you want. There must
Yeah.
be a proper structure. There must be a proper syllabus, and I'm sure you guys are working on that for the next part of it. And it is brilliant. I think the coaches are very, very important. They got to teach the right things, obviously. And you spoke about the way they manage the kids. That's very important. The relationship,
Yes.
that's number one. And the other thing is obviously the knowledge of the
Yes.
game. There are certain details that you know coaches need to know as well. And
Yes.
it is as simple as moving just one cone. The angle is different.
Yeah.
Right, the angle of the pass is different, for example. So
Yeah.
that is very, very important. And you guys are doing a great job with the coaches education, because I saw that on Facebook only yesterday. So brilliant. Just a quick question, right? Now you guys I wouldn't say uh, targeting, but most of the guys, or the kids, I'm saying the children in LFA are all local students or local kids. Are they
We're now
was it planned?
LCS football
Oh,
again.
sorry,
No
sorry,
more, no
yeah,
more LFA.
LCS.
Yeah.
Uh, but even at LFA, I'm saying even at LFA,
Yeah.
right? Local children predominantly.
Yes.
Was that planned, or is it just a coincidence that?
It all goes back to, I think, how we started, right? As Fandi Ahmad Academy,
Right.
our brand was Fandi,
Yeah.
and naturally we
Okay.
attracted Singaporeans.
Right.
And then from there on, it's pretty clear that people who join us do identify with the fact that we are very, very Singaporean community.
Yeah.
And I myself wanted to make a difference to Singapore football. And hence, if again, coming back to the aim, what do we want to do?
Yeah.
The aim is to make a difference to Singapore football.
Yeah.
And hence,
Right.
I think having a local crowd is something that we always wanted, and we are very happy with.
Nice. Have you got a coaching license, by the way?
Me, no.
No. Okay. Now, the COVID-19, right? Many things happen, obviously, and then I think you guys started out and I know because my son is there, and we started out at College Central, right?
Yes.
And then slowly it kicked in, and then lockdown, right?
Yes.
What were the struggles? Because then people weren't sure,
Yeah.
parents weren't sure,
Yeah.
you weren't sure.
Yeah.
The government were trying to fix certain things.
Yeah.
What was it like? Was it a struggle? Like
Yeah.
to get things.
So I think I was really lucky that we basically for me we actually went into, so with Home United it was a strategic alliance.
Yeah.
And then now with Lion City Sailors, the C Group actually bought me out totally. Right. So it's our academy is fully owned by the C Group.
Yeah.
And the deal was concluded just before the lockdown.
Right.
So basically it freed me of any financial kind of challenges.
Okay.
Of course, it was a challenging time for our coaches because without any coaching sessions, they are not paid, right? So what we then did was to start online training. So
but so this is under LCS already.
Yes. And then what we did was having the coaches actually keep all the training fees that the students were paying, just to tide them over for that period of time. We actually also had this daily Tabata workout, for all, but that was for free, right? It's just to get through a period of time where we feel that it's really important to stay active, stay healthy, and we wanted to encourage everyone to exercise. So doing it all together makes it helpful. It's like you motivate each other to do it. Yeah, and then with the online training, the kids were actually still getting to touch the ball, do
Yeah.
technical stuff,
Yeah.
and some of them actually came out of the CB with better touches
Because they had
because
no choice. They have to do
yes,
it every day.
yes,
And then, yeah.
repetition,
Right,
repetition,
right, right,
repetition.
right.
Yeah,
Nice. Okay, we just, from that lockdown period, we just moved back slightly, right? Now the name change, the C group, HUFC changing names to LCS, obviously. Now, what was it like for you personally, right, when this came about? Was there any doubts about continuation of LFA, LCS, and
yeah.
what have you? You know what I mean,
Yes,
right?
yes,
So, was
yes.
there any doubts for you
Yeah.
personally?
So I think it was an exciting time
Right.
when the C Group took over Home United and
Yes.
then rebranded it to Lion City Sailors.
Yeah.
That was the first step for them.
Right.
And then the second step was to look at, hey, what should we do for the youth?
Yeah.
Right. And then I'm lucky in the sense where I'm already, under this strategic alliance.
Yeah.
So I had a conversation with the management,
Right.
and it was made pretty clear to me that uh, any form of strategic alliance should not continue. The only way we can continue to work together is let us help you. Tell
Yeah.
us what you need.
Right.
We'll take over the company, but we will provide you with whatever resources that's required for
Right.
you
Right.
to be successful.
Right.
And this is a dream come true, to be honest, because
Okay.
running a football academy purely on parents paying fees
Mm.
is difficult to run programs that can bring kids to the next level. When you talk about high level training, you need the coach to student ratio. You need a lot of attention.
Right.
You need to bring in a lot of specialists. You need to provide as many overseas opportunities as possible.
Right.
This is not possible to just keep charging people for.
Right.
And then with the C group now coming in and potentially financing a lot of all these investments, we are now able to create a program that does not require parents to pay crazy money for. In fact, 13 onwards, once they get onto the scholarship, everything is paid for them. We want to create a program that can potentially position them for a career in professional football.
Right.
And we want to make sure that this is a program that is not just one where you dream about becoming a Lion City Sailor player. No,
Right.
we need to create something that is far beyond that, something that can make people realize that, hey, it's worth investing my time in.
Right.
Yeah.
So just to be very clear, you are now a paid staff
Employee
of
C
of
group.
the C group.
Yes.
Nice. Again, you see, it's the timing, isn't it?
Yes.
Is the timing all came at probably the right time.
Yeah.
Now, this is a question for you, right? Now, you are the GM of the academy.
Yep.
And then you have obviously the technical director in Luca.
Yep.
Right. Now, how is this relationship? How does this work in terms of roles and what have
Yeah.
you? Now, again, I'm not being a devil's advocate or
Yeah.
being cynical or anything like that. We
Yeah.
know of things happening in Europe and what have you. You
Yeah.
have the football director, technical
Yeah.
director,
Yeah.
the,
Yeah.
the head coach, and all
Yeah.
this coming together and not having an agreement over stuff. Now,
Yeah.
how
Yeah.
does this work?
Yeah.
Lee?
So as the GM,
Yeah.
basically I run the whole academy and I
Right.
worry about every single thing.
Right.
Now, my job is to make everyone successful within the academy.
Okay.
Now, why did we bring in Luca?
Right.
Now, my relationship with him goes back all the way to 2012, where
Okay.
I first met him on a JSSL league game. Right,
Okay.
I was playing against him. Ilhan Fandi scored against him, and that was the only game I won against him. Right, and then for 4 years, 2012 to 2016, his teams dominated the leagues.
Right.
I always knew that this is a guy that has enough content, passion, and drive to
Okay.
make a difference to Singapore football.
Okay.
So bringing him as a technical director basically means that he's here to help us with everything football related, everything technical related.
Okay.
He makes the call, he makes the decision. His KPI, produce players for Singapore football.
Right.
And then we as an academy try to make him as successful as possible, because him being successful meaning that we produce as many players as possible.
Absolutely brilliant. I think it's very, very clear. The roles are very clear. I think that's very important when you come into an agreement, where you sign contracts and what have you, when somebody new comes in. That is very important, my friend. To make things very clear, and also to work closely together, because you can't have one guy working in one direction and then stabbing each other in the back and stuff like that. We see that a lot, and we know about that, right? So good luck with that, because I think let's hope for Singapore football that carries on,
Mm.
and you guys produce lots of players. Now, I think this is a no-brainer, but I just want to ask you anyway, right? The objectives were LFA at the beginning, and now LCS. Has it changed? Any major changes with LCS coming in? Is there any major changes in your objectives, your main objective, when you first started out LFA?
Yes, there is.
Yeah.
Obviously, there is.
Yeah.
Because as LFA,
Yeah.
there was never a possibility of dreaming of the impossible.
Okay.
Simply because of the fact that we were a private company that required to collect fees from parents.
Right.
And it's impossible for me to go to parents and tell them, hey, I'm going to make your kid dream of Europe,
Yeah.
because I don't have the resources to do that.
Right.
Now, with the C group and with LCS Football Academy, it's totally different. We're not expecting any kind of things from the parents. We're asking for a chance to do something with their kids
Okay.
by investing our time in them.
Yeah.
It's about us putting the right investments and then creating a dream, to
Right.
dream of the impossible. It's not going to be easy. We don't even know whether we're ever going to produce one, but at least now we have the resources to do it. Yeah, so definitely there has been a change, and that was only made possible because of the kind of resources that's available to us now.
Beautiful. LCS Academy received the 1-star rating from the Asian Football Confederation recently, right? And this is the first in Singapore and 1 in 13 in the whole of Asia to be star rated. Only 3 academies have 3-star ratings, and I think Aspire in Qatar, Jeonbuk Hyundai obviously in Korea, and PVF in Vietnam.
Yeah.
Tell us what went into the star rating. What were the requirements, and any plans to upgrade that rating?
So for the star rating, there's actually a 20-point evaluation. Within this 20 points evaluation, there's a what if you have something, you get 1 star. If you have something else, you get 2 stars, and then you hit the 3-star, right? So in about 20 of the categories, we hit, I think half of them we actually hit 2 stars,
Okay.
and then another half of them 1 star.
Right.
So in terms of trying to upgrade, definitely, us having the new facility is going to be a big next step. So having a dedicated, I won't say first class, a very, very professional kind of training facility, the first of its kind in Singapore, will enable us to definitely aim for that 2nd star. And then whether we make it to 3 stars, I think it really depends a lot on the outcomes of the programs moving forward.
So I take it that one of the requirements that was missing was the designated venue for training.
Actually, the current facility at Mata
Yeah.
did fulfill a lot of
Okay.
requirements. However, in terms of the clubhouse and stuff,
Right,
so
right.
at Mata, there's a lot of fields.
Yeah.
But in terms of the amenities,
Okay.
regarding gym, regarding
Okay.
the changing room, locker
yeah.
rooms and stuff, those are not, I would say, fully developed.
Is this going to be a next JDT project? It looks like it, but again, good luck, because I think this is the way to go forward anyway.
Yeah.
And you just look at JDT, but obviously it comes with the investment, the money, and there's many
Yes,
things involved.
yes.
Again, congratulations on the star rating, by the way.
Yeah, thank you very
Brilliant,
much.
the only one in Singapore. Well done. Uh, you know, tell me about the pathway of the children at LCS very quickly, right? Like from the you have the general ones, the competition one. Just speak to us about that.
Yeah. So within the academy, I think in terms of programs, there's 3 categories.
Right.
General refers to the kids who actually train once a week. They play for fun. They're just coming to the game and
Right.
they love football, right?
Right.
And we have kids who have joined us from 6 years old all the way to 12 years old. They continue playing once a week and they enjoy the game.
Yeah.
Right. There's the next level, which is the competitive program. These
Right.
are kids who love the game,
Right.
are okay, display some qualities,
Yeah.
and we feel are good enough to let them get some kind of competitive exposure.
Right.
So these players train between 1 to 3 times a week, and they play in a team,
Right.
in a tournament, the
Right.
JSSL League. And then at the highest level, we have the elite program. So the elite program, this is something that will be fully rolled out from January onwards. It is going to be a program that is totally designed by our technical director.
For what age?
It's all the way from as young as 6,
Okay.
all the way
Okay.
to our first batch of scholars is 13 next year,
Okay.
right? But the elite program exists for 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12,
Okay.
13, 14. Yeah. So this program is than the one that is designed towards preparing players towards a professional career in football.
Right.
And it's not just talent we're talking about. Talent is just the starting point. It's commitment, it's dedication,
Right.
it's hard work, it's sacrifice.
Right.
And we also understand that to want to excel, you sorry, to be able to excel, you must first want it.
Right.
If it's a kid who's extremely talented but not ready to commit, not ready to sacrifice, then he's not ready for the program as well.
Right.
Yeah.
Just a quick question. Does a kid from probably the general group have an opportunity to move up, or
Yeah.
or even from the, what is it, the competitive
Competitive, yeah.
group,
Yes.
able to move up to the elite group at any stage?
Yes,
Like,
yes,
let's say
yes.
during the year.
Yes. So it's a fluid thing. So
Okay.
just let's say if imagine you are a new joiner,
Right.
5-year old,
Right.
you come into the program, you will start off with the general, learn
Right.
to play.
Right.
You join the red, green, blue group, you
Yeah.
learn how to play football, you love it. And within maybe 3 months,
Right.
we find that hey, this kid very fast,
Okay.
or very strong,
Right.
or not bad technically,
Yeah.
Then we go to the kid, uh, for example, like your son,
Yeah.
and then we encourage him to now join the competitive team,
Okay.
right? Get a bit of training there, and then move on to start playing in competitions.
Right.
And along the way, as and when we feel that they've progressed to a state where potentially have a chance of making it to the elite team,
Yeah.
we then invite them to come for training,
Right.
with the elite group, and just see where he stands, right?
Right.
And it's a process that goes on throughout the year. So you have kids progressing through the ranks from the general to the competitive to the elite.
Yeah.
You also have kids from other academies coming to trial
Okay.
for different programs. So potentially you could be a kid from Active SG, you come and
Okay.
trial for the elite program.
Right.
Maybe you're not good enough, we offer the competitive program.
Right.
You could be a kid from overseas, you just came back from overseas,
Right.
and you are playing at a very high level there. You trial, not good enough, go. So it's from everywhere, and it's all about number one, within the program, it's strong, right? So you need to get in
Right.
first. Now, if you get in, how do you sustain?
Right.
How do you make sure that you continue to improve, continue to excel,
Right.
and then you get to stay on in the program? If not, at the end of the day, you do not need to be in the elite program now.
Yeah.
You can be, if you're a late
Bloomer.
developer,
Yeah.
your time could be when you're 15, you're
Yeah.
16, but the competitive program then allows you to stay in the game.
Yeah.
We call it let's survive the next few years. And then when you mature, that potentially could be the time you actually get into the elite program. Yeah.
Right. I just want to say good luck for LCS Academy. I hope you have tremendous success, obviously with the players, and for Singapore football in general. I think that's what your main aim is. Absolutely brilliant. So good luck with that. Now let's before we leave, right? Just a chat about you, the man, right, and the future, obviously, right. Now, from school to national service, and you talk about your rank and in school, or your achievements and stuff like that, and of course your time at the academies. Describe the kind of leader that you are.
Um, so I think I'm someone who strongly believe in the win-win philosophy.
Okay.
Everything that I do, I want to make everyone successful. I always look at bringing out the best in everyone. So
Nice.
finding the right people to do the right job, and then allowing them to do their best. So I don't bring in Luca and tell Luca what to do. I bring in Luca and I tell him, I want you to make players for us,
Right.
and then tell me, how do I make you successful?
Yeah.
I bring in different types of people for different types of job. So uh, for me, it's all about making the team as successful as possible, and then allowing people the space for them to develop, to grow, and to excel. So if you are someone who is not self-motivated, then working for me, you will die, because I won't be coming in and telling you what to do. I'm going to expect you and only judge you by the end result that you produce. So it's not about the number of hours, it's not about slogging it out, it's about performing. And the way you can perform is by allowing, or I believe, allowing you to express yourself as much as possible.
Absolutely. It's not about micromanaging, because you have employed somebody to do a job that you're good at, so you got to do that job.
Yes.
Yes, and
Yes.
that's brilliant. Now, this is someone said this, right? Best boss ever. He treats you like a friend and everyone with respect, and that's why people stand by Lee and wants to do their best for him. Your employee. Another one of your employees. His passion for football is beyond words. Dedicated, easygoing person. Get this, right, Lee? Get this. And future president for FAS.
Hey, no, no, no. Never.
two,
Yeah.
these are two guys, your coaches from LCS, and guess who?
No idea. No. Yeah.
Justly and Ideal.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
those two were the guys, and I spoke to them just a few days ago. So, I think what you just said before, and these guys as well, is testament to the job that you're doing. So again, absolutely brilliant. Now, your thoughts on our youth footballers? Can we make the step up?
Uh, okay. So we can, as long as we show the kind of dedication that's required to make it at the top. The truth is, Singapore sports, swimming has shown the way.
Right.
If you dedicate yourself to it, if you sacrifice,
Yeah.
our swimmers train.
Yeah, I know.
They wake up 5 a.m. in the morning. They go to the pool, they swim, they go to school. After school, they go into the lab, like into the pool and labs again. And I think this is what is required to really make that last mile.
It's
Yeah.
required, but is it lacking? Now that's the question, because it is required. Everybody knows what's
Yes.
required,
Yes.
right?
So
So is this lacking?
yeah, so if you look at the profile and the kind of players we have within the academy,
Yeah.
I can tell you there are players
Right.
who are ready, who are already sacrificing, working hard, and are dedicated.
Yeah.
But if you just compare the sheer numbers,
Yeah.
swimming has thousands of swimmers who are dedicated.
Okay.
But for football in Singapore today, not as many as swimmers. So that's definite.
So what you're trying to say is, or what you're saying, and this is, I totally get this, and I've been saying this all along, right? I think the attitude is missing
Yeah.
in football, right? We move on. That's for another podcast. uh, your personal goal, right, and also your goal for LCS Academy. Your personal goal, something that
Yeah. We need, we want to one day
Yeah.
have a Singaporean
Yeah.
from this academy
Yeah.
get a European contract.
Nice.
Yeah.
Any advice for anyone starting up an academy? Again, like you said, I can be someone who wants to start an academy, uh, so-called competition, right? Because you say competition is good, right?
Yeah.
But any advice for anyone out there who wants to start up an academy?
Football academy.
Yes.
So I think the try to find a space
Yeah.
to position yourself
Right.
and not try to do everything. You cannot be an academy that wants to reach the masses, wants to do competitions, wants to run tournaments, wants to go overseas, want to do elite. No, I think find a differentiating factor,
Yeah.
and then find the space where you can do your best in and you can specialize in. I think that's the only way to survive in this very, very congested space.
That's very interesting. Very interesting. I think probably that's some of the mistakes that has been done before, right?
Yeah.
Someone coming in and trying to do
Everything.
everything under the brilliant. That's a great advice. Any messages for your coaches, your fellow coaches?
I think for all our coaches, I really thank them for all the support that they
Yeah.
have given. They are dedicated to
Right.
this job, and I look forward to continue working hard together with them.
Yeah.
And hopefully one day we can make a difference to Singapore football.
And to your admin staff as well. I think they've been doing a great job. People like Nicole and Ying Ying, right?
Yes,
Yeah,
yes,
yeah.
yes,
Any
yes.
any messages for them?
Uh, well, for all of them, including Jackson,
Yes.
and they work tirelessly.
Yeah.
And there is a lot of things that goes on behind the scenes
Yeah.
that people don't see.
Exactly.
With the new organization that we are involved in, the amount of admin work that
Yeah.
comes along is crazy.
Yeah.
Potentially the audits,
Yeah.
the finance systems, the student system, the logistics work that Jackson needs to handle, the amount of equipment that we're buying nowadays.
Yeah.
We just bought another 20 small goals from Decathlon.
Wow.
So, they are doing a great job. And I'm very thankful to have such a great team that's supporting.
A shout out to all you guys at LCS, the team behind the team. Yeah, I think that's the most important. Lee, thank you very much for being on the Silver Fox Hustle
Yeah,
podcast. I think you epitomize the word hustle and the Silver Fox Hustle. So thank you very much. I'll see you soon.
yeah. Thank you very much.
It has been almost 2 years since major football tournaments have taken place. The COVID-19 pandemic has affected everyone around the world. Our lives have been put on hold as the challenges we faced were unprecedented. Countless lives have been lost. Many loved ones separated across the globe. The time has come for us to rise again. Through it all, we will emerge stronger together. This year's Suzuki Cup goes beyond the football world. All captains and players of the national teams will play their hearts out for all families, friends, and loved ones lost. For the frontline workers who've held the fort and allowed us to be here today, we play for you. The return of this tournament signifies our strength, love, and passion as a community. As we emerge stronger together.
It's a great feeling, and I hope they will celebrate for a long time.
Sending this 55,000 crowd into seventh heaven.
To finish now, just show this up, and that's what he does best. Alexander Duric, he's only been on the pitch for 2 minutes.
Shaw picks up the loose pieces, and it's 11-0 for Singapore.